In this section, what you will learn is what is HTML, how HTML works in Angular, and why HTML is essential. The approach we'll use these 5 steps to begin learning how to use HTML. Step 1. We'll learn that HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. We'll learn how to use paragraphs. We'll learn how to use the bold tags. We'll learn how to convert text into italic. And we will learn the all-important division or div tags. HTML stands for Hypermarkup Text Language. HTML is a language. HTML is used in web browsers. HTML is used by browsers to display elements. Browsers build web pages from HTML. Let's go over to StackBlitz and take a look at HTML in action. Here we are in StackBlitz. Now, if you don't remember how to get into StackBlitz, please watch the previous course video and it will show you exactly how to get here. But roughly, you navigate to stackblitz.com and then you open the Angular editor, and this will get you started straight away. Here I am in the app.component.html. This is already constructed for you in StackBlitz. It's the fastest way to start coding. And we're going to start with some basic HTML. Remember, this is the editor in the center of the screen, and this is the browser on the right-hand side. If I begin by typing a paragraph, now we use this by opening an angle bracket, putting a P in, and closing the angle bracket, and then we type something. I am a paragraph. Now we're going to close this by angle bracket close, /P, and closing the bracket. Now you'll see that it begins to display in the browser on the right hand side. This is HTML. It's a HTML paragraph tag, and all browsers will interpret this and display this as you see. So let's see what we want to do if we want to write something in bold. So we'll use the B tag. I am bold text. Now we'll close the bracket back up, and you'll see the difference here on the right hand side. Notice the stronger type. This is bold, and all we've done is replace the P with the B, the opening and closing angle brackets at the front, opening and closing angle brackets at the back, with this / that signifies close out this piece, these tags, and then everything inside that will be interpreted and displayed in bold. Let's do the same with italics then. We do exactly the same thing. It's very logical and straightforward. All we've done here is replaced it with the I. Of course, it's displayed on the same line. The reason it has displayed on the same line here is because it's not in its own individual paragraph tag. So let's put some paragraph tags round it. Now, you couldn't see this before because the paragraph tag itself above had nothing to work with. It was just a paragraph, but ultimately, as you can see here, each paragraph now puts the text on its own line. So the first line clearly has nothing else with it. The second line places this in bold and puts it on its individual line, as we've seen here. And the third line here places it in italic with the I and wraps it in a paragraph. Now, if I copied and paste this text from here, and I put a comma at the top here, you will see that it just starts putting the text on exactly the same line. And you see here we have all three together. So if you want to write a sentence or indeed a paragraph, hence the term paragraph tag, using the paragraph tags are very powerful. It puts the text together for you in one simple sentence or paragraph or block, if you like, of text. Here below, we've then got individual pieces which are bold and italic, and you can see how this displays. If I also wanted to move them together, I could actually take the italic here and put that in the same line. And you see here we start to see how it begins to build up the different tags on inside the same paragraph. So they very much work together. Finally, there is the div tag. And again, it's the opening angle bracket with a div, and then we close that out at the bottom the same way with the angle bracket. You see I'm getting editor support here. It's helping me out, telling me what's going to come next. I just click on this, it's going to put that in. Now again, this very much like the paragraph tag, you don't really see any difference immediately on the screen, but what this has actually done is block this inside a section, a division. And this becomes very useful when you want to place things on a screen next to each other and build up a display. And we'll go through that in the coming sessions and videos. But just so that this is an introduction here of how HTML works, it's very, very logical. Opening and closing angle brackets, put inside the term that you need. In this case, we've used div, p, b, and I. Close out each part with the returning the end tag and the / to signify this is the end of this tag. And you can see how you can start to build up quite quickly complicated displays and information and how they start to interact and work together. Now obviously in the coming videos we're going to build something more interesting like a to-do list. And so we will replace this text and I'll show you how to do that. But this is just an introduction to help you understand how HTML displays on the screen and how you can start building it up. Okay, let's go and have a look at some of the theory. So we began by writing some HTML in the HTML app file, and we wrote that in app.component.html. So it would be logical that HTML is written in a .html file. That seems quite straightforward and logical. We wrote the paragraph tags, the bold tags, the italic tags, and the division. We understood that for each element that we wanted to place on the screen, that we used the opening and closing angle brackets. And then when we wanted to close that tag out, we used the /. And this would then encapsulate the piece of text or information or data within inside that HTML tag and tell it to apply that particular treatment or style to that information within it, within the opening and closing tags. We see here that we've got the opening paragraph tag. Then we place whatever information we want to inside that tag. And then we close that tag out, and that will implement that information on the screen with that particular HTML style, which is a paragraph. Here we see in the editor the left-hand side, the actual code being written, the right-hand side, the output, and here is our paragraph tag, which will block that text for us into that section, whatever the paragraph tag encompasses, and display it as a block of text for us. Different blocks of paragraph tags can be built up on the page, and this is how you get sections of text displaying as if you were reading a book possibly, but there are many other things that you can do with the paragraph tag in HTML. Here we're going to use the bold tag. Again, we put the B inside the opening and closing angle brackets. We then type in the text that we want to have in a much heavier font, i.e. bold. And now we're going to close out those brackets. And again, here we have it, we show this on the screen. The left-hand side is the text in the editor as we've written the code, opening and closing the bold brackets. On the right-hand side is the actual output, and you see that much heavier font, the bold font being used around the text being displayed. The bold tags make text bold and heavier, and we can use them inside paragraphs and other elements to highlight or make a single word or a character or a whole paragraph bold. We're going to use italic tags here. We put the I in, represent the italic tag. We place the text between the opening and closing HTML italic tag. This will display in italic. Then we have a closing tag at the end with the / to tell the HTML that this is the end of the text that you want to display in italic. In the editor on the left-hand side, we see how we write that code with the italic tags. And then on the right-hand side, we see the output of that. And you see that the font is italic and is encompassing the whole text that we've written because we've implemented it within the opening and closing HTML tags for italic. We can use this inside a paragraph. We can make a single letter italic, a number italic, a whole paragraph italic, only 3 words italic inside a paragraph that can be used in combination with the paragraph tag. So here we're going to use the division tag, spelled D-I-V. We put that inside its own tag. Normally they sit on their own line. We have opening div tag here. We open angle bracket, type in the letters div, and then close the angle bracket to represent the beginning of the division. We then put the child of the division tag and the division being the parent and whatever sits inside it being the child of that parent. It's a hierarchical structure which shows you that the paragraph tag is one level lower than the div tag and belongs to the div tag. And it normally is true that the div tag will contain other things inside it. And in this case, the paragraph tag sits inside the div tag, creating the division. And then we close that division out with the standard HTML format, open the angle bracket, / div, and close the angle bracket to represent that this division is closed. And this, if we put this on the screen, on the left hand side, we see the text written in the editor as you would write the code. On the right hand side you see the output, and clearly you can see here that there is no difference at the moment between writing something in a paragraph tag and writing something in a division. But divisions are containers, hence the word division, and they are very, very useful, and you will see that really come into action in later videos, but this is just an introductory video to HTML. So the divisions allow us to group the HTML tags together. They allow us to differentiate. They allow us to differentiate areas of a web page. And this becomes very, very important when you want to build up a web page and build up different types and styles of pages with complicated layouts. And we will see that in the coming videos. HTML provides pre-built elements. HTML has many pre-built elements. And HTML elements are the bedrock of almost every web page today. And we've seen this with paragraph, bold, italic, division, and there are many more. This is just an introduction to HTML to get you started, and you'll see that HTML is very, very much the bedrock of displaying things to the user and in interaction, and we'll see that very soon. HTML works with Angular and HTML works with CSS, and we're going to see this, and we'll see this come together and how this rich tapestry all creates a very, very unique and rich experience for the end user.